Hi, I'm Sean Keefe. I run sales enablement for Skybox Security, and here's a demonstration video covering configuration compliance. There are three policy engines within firewall and network assurance. This video describes the configuration compliance policy engine. Configuration policies provide the ability to compare the configuration of a firewall or network device against policies that describe how that device should be configured or hardened. These policies could be an internal gold standard, vendor recommendation, or external policy like CIS benchmarks or DISA STIGs. Configuration policies can be found by clicking on Configuration Policies in the left admin pane. Since configuration policies deal with the raw configuration of a device, each make of device has its own collection of checks. Choosing the Palo Alto section shows us there are 35 configuration checks being made against our two Palo Alto firewalls. On the right, we have a table showing comprehensively how the firewalls did against these checks. In the far right column, we see devices with violations. This column will show us that our checks fall into three categories. Category 1 are checks that all of our firewalls have passed. These are indicated by 0 devices with violations. Category 2 would be checks that all of our firewalls failed. In our example, this is represented by 2 devices with violations. With these checks, organizations typically need to explore whether the checks are relevant in their environment. Relevant checks will represent an opportunity for remediation. Category 3 is the most interesting. Checks that some of our devices have failed. In our example, this is represented by 1 device with a violation. These checks typically represent a standard that has been attempted to be followed, but hasn't been implemented across all firewalls. This usually represents an opportunity for remediation as well. If we choose a specific check, like SNMP public community string, we can see more information about this specific check. When we choose an individual check, we can see the specific firewalls that have passed and failed the check. In this example, there are 2 firewalls that both failed this check. If we right-click on a check and choose Properties, we can see the regular expression that has been built to define the check. Checks are considered violations when the regular expression string either matches or doesn't match the raw configuration, as indicated by found or not found. An example of a matching violation would be not changing a default setting. The default setting is defined as the check, and when it is found in the configuration, it is considered a violation because the default hasn't been changed, as is the case in our example. The reverse, a non-matching violation, would be to ensure that the new configuration lines have been added. If one of those wasn't found, then it would be considered a violation. Violation severity is defined within the check, so operators have an idea of how bad the violation is. Finally, when a matching violation is found, the location of the offending line can be seen on screen with a link. Clicking the link will open the raw configuration so you can see right where the problem is. Configuration checks, like all compliance checks, can be run either manually or automatically. Manual execution occurs when an individual analyze option is chosen. Automatic execution occurs when the policy compliance task is run according to a schedule. The output of the configuration compliance engine can also be seen in Horizon. Here, compliance policy violations drive the Unsecured Device Configuration, IOE. In summary, configuration checks allow operators to continuously ensure network devices and firewalls are configured or hardened appropriately. Thanks for watching this video on configuration compliance. Please visit our website for additional videos and other resources.